One glass of this a day will end diabetes and global warming. All you gotta do is use a tablespoon of turmeric, a cow's testicle, and apple cider. That's a terrible American chiropractor accent. Cow's testicles. Don't do that, definitely. Disclaimer alert. So, like, as a doctor, I stumble across these YouTube videos or blog posts, and a lot of it is a bucket load of horse crap. Videos with titles that are like, end your blood pressure in 2 seconds by doing this one thing, and they sell you a dream, essentially. All you gotta do is this one drink, and then you don't have to worry about all these other important and difficult things. And so it got me thinking, are there evidence-based drinks that you could have a cup of daily, and over time, over maybe months or weeks, it can help lower your sugar levels, minus all the sensationalist BS that we see? And you'll be surprised, actually, there are. So let's just drink a cup of tea and find out. And surprise, surprise, the first one we're talking about is tea, and particularly herbal teas like green tea and chamomile. And so a meta-analysis, which is basically a research paper that looks at a number of previous studies on this, found that in 17 randomized controlled trials, green tea drinkers had lower fasting glucose, that's your fasting sugar level, and something called HbA1c. Now, your HbA1c is a measure of your sugar control over a 3-month period, and we use it to diagnose diabetes, but also to track how well you're doing. And if you're reversing it, you would normally see the numbers go back into the normal range. And so, in theory, if you live a healthy lifestyle and you also add in regular cups of green tea, then can you over time reduce your HbA1c? Right? That's what it shows. Okay, where was I? So these kind of trials don't guarantee causation, that one thing definitely causes another thing. These trials are often done in controlled environments, so we don't know, once people go out into the wild, wonderful world that they live, whether the study will reproduce the same results. While it's promising, more studies need to be done to show the same thing, and more focused on diabetics. And so while it's promising, I think we'll need a lot more research before we can give a cup of green tea with lifestyle advice to every diabetic. And to be fair, on the other hand, there are these studies that have found no real improvement in diabetes control or reversing it when they're drinking tea. So the data is far from conclusive, but maybe a slight glimmer of hope. And so it leaves you with, well, doc, do I drink it or don't I drink it? And my philosophy on this is, whenever you're putting something into your body, you always have to think about what are the good things that it could potentially do, but also what are the bad things. So the bad things about green tea are, it's going to make you go to the toilet a bit more. Can you manage that? If you can manage that, then cool, go ahead, in moderation. Green tea also has some other health benefits, which we'll go through now. For example, it is rich in polyphenols, which are antioxidating agents, which help your body basically reduce oxidative stress. So basically, inflammatory effects on your body are lower, which is generally speaking a great thing. Green tea also contains tiny micronutrients called flavonoids, which can help the body run more smoothly. And one of the flavonoids that can be found in green tea is called theanine, and it's quite good for lowering your blood pressure and lowers stress as well. So green teas and chamomile and things like that are a big green tick from me, just because they've got so many different health benefits, and one of those things on top potentially could be a slightly lower blood sugar level, and if you get that, perfect. So the best thing to do is get a cup of boiling water, pop a tea bag for green tea or chamomile, and leave it there for 5 minutes. And please, please, please make sure you don't add extra sugar, because any of those benefits for blood sugar that we were talking about are gonna go in the bin if you're adding your own sugar. So just on its own, herbal, once or twice a day should be great for you. Now let's talk about apple cider vinegar. It's touted as like the miracle drink on videos and online, and titles like, drink this in 5 minutes, your wife is gonna love you and you're gonna have financial success for the rest of your life. Doesn't quite do that. Trust me. So now let's look at some of the research, and there isn't too much research on it, but there are a few old studies that I've been able to dig up, and surprisingly, it does show that it can lower your sugar levels and your fasting sugar level, and that's in a review of 6 studies. However, there was only like 317 patients in those, and ideally, if you want to do these studies and be able to extrapolate that data for general populations, you'd need tens of thousands of patients, or at least thousands, and that wasn't the case in the studies for this one. But in all fairness, in 2021, another study that was done on it showed that it can actually delay gastric emptying emptying, and this is the amount of time that food sits in your stomach, and this in turn can help lower your blood sugar levels. And so the science of this actually makes sense, because if you think about delayed gastric emptying, we do have a medication called Ozempic, which is fantastic for diabetics, and it shows that it can reduce your appetite, and the delayed gastric emptying can also help people with their blood sugar control. So in theory, if apple cider vinegar does that, then you're likely to get some of the benefits there as well. Interestingly, Ozempic, the GLP-1, is now the viral weight loss sensation that people are using. It's a miracle drug, they say. I've debunked some of the myths around that claim. Anything that's thought to be a miracle drug or cure is never the case. There's a lot more information there, so have a look at that video if you like. And so back to apple cider vinegar, I think in moderation, and if you have a chat with your doctor and they're happy for you to trial it, you can certainly give it a go. As with anything that you put into your body, you should be aware of the side effects and other things it can do. So with this, it's quite acidic, so it can damage your teeth, making sure that you dilute it, and you can have it with a straw to kind of get rid of that if you like. The other thing is some people will have stomach ulcers, acid reflux, and kidney problems, generally not advised for those patients. So always speak to your clinician to check that you're safe to have it. And then if you're gonna try it in moderation. And the best way to do that is to take a teaspoon of it in a large glass of water, mix it around and have a drink of that. And so with these two drinks that I have advised, you're gonna feel 30 years younger. Look, with all these kind of things, we are talking about minute differences. We're talking about a few extra % improvement. And say if you've got a poor, unhealthy diet and you do no exercise and you don't get enough sleep and you drink a lot of alcohol, those are the big factors that need to be changed. Those are the things that if you make an improvement, you'll see a great result. But they're going to be tougher to change as well, because there are huge lifestyle changes, not only to make a difference, but you have to maintain that change. And so human nature is we always look for the simple cure. You know, this drink, if I drink it once a day, I'm going to cure it. Often, it's not going to do it. Please let me know in the comments things that have helped you control your sugar levels. Thank you for watching. I'll see you on the next video. Peace out.